welcome to the last installment of Depraved Moms. With this one, we're going to Everett Washington. We're going to be talking about Janet Garcia and little Ariel Garcia. Let me consult my computer here and see what we found on Miss Garcia. Washington woman has pled not guilty in the fatal stabbing of her 4-year-old son, whose abandoned body was found on March 28th, wrapped in a Christmas blanket off Interstate 5. Wow. Stabbed and tossed like Donald's trash on the side of the highway, wrapped in a Christmas blanket. How nice. Janet Garcia, 27, from Everett, Washington, who was arrested March 29th, has been charged with first-degree murder, domestic violence with a deadly weapon, and aggravated domestic violence with the circumstances of a vulnerable victim. She is being held on $3 million bond after pleading not guilty in a court appearance April 22nd, according to Snohomish County Superior Court. After her 4-year-old son, Ariel Garcia, was reported missing on March 27, 2024, the Everett Police Department and the Federal Bureau of Investigation began a 2-day search for the boy. His body was found March 28th near Joint Base Lewis, Jordan, Tacoma, Washington. Prosecutors say the boy had been stabbed dozens of separate times, while an autopsy revealed at least 41 sharp force injuries. 41. That sounds like rage. What rage could this 4-year-old innocent child, little Ariel Garcia, have caused his mother that would have led her to stab him 41 times, then wrap his bloody, dead body in a Christmas blanket and toss him out of the car like he was garbage? Oh my God. Oh, now, I have to say, Janet Garcia, she gets a whole 10 because stabbing your kid, man, wasn't sleeping, was wide awake, or she would have slit his throat. Because if I was going to kill a kid, it's the same. We won't get into that, but slitting a throat is a much easier thing to do, especially if you're not enraged. She seemed to be enraged. I think she hated the kid from the day he was born. She just looked for him. Or maybe one day she just got sick and tired of it. But no, that's not what it was, folks. See, she's casually admits to smoking meth. I mean, you gotta watch the video with the body cam. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can see just how cold-hearted, callous, and casual she is about her son being dead, and how she just supposedly left a friend that she can't seem to name or has absolutely no idea what this person's number is. Or, and why is that? Because her son had already been stabbed 41 times. I wonder what that felt like for her. Obviously, it was quite good because she didn't stop the first, the second, the third, the fourth, nor the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, or 10th. No, she went on 31 more times into the body of a defenseless 4-year-old child that wasn't just any child. Not just any child. Her child. Her child. Wow. What a sick, sick individual. But let's read on, shall we? Let's find out some more from another source. This one's from USA Today. Our next source. Ariel. Huh. She has the nerve. I'll make sure I show you this image. Now let's see here. This one has a little more detail. Let's just go on to one of the details that we didn't have from the first story. According to Deputy Prosecutor Martina Wong, Ariel Garcia's stab wounds indicated the attack went on for a prolonged period of time. That Janet Garcia had been exhibiting violent behavior days before her son's death. An autopsy showed Ariel Garcia had 16 sharp force wounds to the front of his body and a cluster of others on his upper back. According to the charges, he also had defensive wounds on his arms. He tried to stop her, and she failed. Which means she murdered her son before she discarded his body. Oh, God. Oh, to categorize this as brutal and cold-hearted is incorrect, Fraser said in court, calling the case a tragic circumstance of the failure of meaningful access to addiction treatment and mental health resources. Now, of course, that's the defense. Now, I don't know about anybody else out there, but I've heard plenty of parents who are on drugs that don't beat their children to death or stab them to death. No, I'm not saying that makes them good parents, because it obviously does not. But they don't necessarily kill their children like Miss Janet Garcia, who is admittedly a meth addict and an alcoholic, who, oddly enough, was turning herself into recovery the day after she murdered brutally, savagely, cold-heartedly, unequivocally evil. Yeah, I'd love to meet her. I think me and her have a lot, except she's gonna be hard. I'm sure she gets that. And killing the kid, though, I'm sure she's quite pleased with her handiwork. If only she could just plead insane, or perhaps prey on the heartstrings of liberals to forgive her for her violent transgressions against the flesh of her flesh, blood of her blood. Maybe they won't sentence her to an eternity in prison where she'll suffer consequences of her own. Now, if there are any links to help out the family of Ariel Garcia, I'll make sure to leave them in the description below. And of course, join me next week for another episode of DEprAveD. This time, folks, we're going to be discussing depraved dads. Oh, I remember my dad. He was quite the character. Quite the character. Till next time.